Hey y'all, welcome to Armani and Qualesa's channel. I'm Qualesa, my daughter is Armani. The way you pronounce my name is Qualesa. Q for short though, that's fine. Y'all could do Q and y'all could call my baby Money. We're fine with that. But tune into my video, please like, comment, and subscribe. I forgot to put this beforehand. I forgot to say it in my previous video, so that's why I'm dressed different. So work clothes, at home lounging clothes, okay? So tune into the next video. See you guys in a few. I am 33 years old. I drive trucks for a living. I only have one daughter, and that's Armani. She's 3. And I'm coming on here just to introduce myself, let you guys know who we are and how we got here. Before I start my vlog, I really want to reach out to the single moms to let them know, like, we may go through stuff may be hard, but we got this, and that I'm right here with you. And before I started, y'all, I'ma just say, being a single mom is hard, like hard. Nothing in the world can prepare you for raising a kid by yourself. I didn't know this when I was just an individual with wanting to be a mom. But now that I am a mom, now I know, So, here we go. I became a single mother in the year of 2023. I'm going to say the year 2023 because when I had my daughter, I was still with her dad and stuff. But honestly, stuff was rocky since I had her, I wasn't able to work. I had a C-section. Pregnancy was high risk, just all around. But I also lost a family member before I gave birth to her and after I gave birth to her, like literally approximately a month after. Not only did I lose a family member, but fast forward to March, my mom was in a medically induced coma, which, if you know, like just having your parents ill, sick, unable to do certain things for themselves, that's hard within itself. So imagine going through all of that as a single mom to a child. How put this? Let me put it right. To a single first-time mama. There we go. That's what I was looking for. To a single first-time mama. So, not only am I'm a first-time mom who just had a baby in December, I'm dealing with 2 deaths and my mom being in a coma and trying to figure out who I am as a mother now. Who I am as a mother while still trying to hold on to individuality. Like, that right there is hard in itself. Not to mention I wasn't working at the time because I couldn't go to work because I wasn't really shit. So that right there is just hard. In the beginning stages of parenthood, I struggled a lot with my presence. I struggled a lot with how I look, how I felt mentally. I struggled, because it was just like, am I being a good mom? And I know my daughter is only like, at this point, 4 or 5 months old. Well, no, 3 months. We go see. At this point, it was like, by the time my mama, because she was born in December, 3 months, 3 or 4 months. So, am I being a good parent to this child already? Financially, I'm struggling because, again, I'm not working. But thankfully for the 401k I had with the company I was driving for, the charity the company that I was driving for had, and income tax, y'all. I was able to, into May, while battling what I think I had was postpartum depression, but I didn't know whether I had it or not because I wasn't diagnosed with it. It was just, now that I look back on those times, I realized that I probably was suffering with it. It's just I made it seem to the doctors like I was okay, I was fine. But truthfully, behind closed doors, I was getting lack of sleep. I was crying all the time. I didn't know what the future was going to look like. I didn't know how I was going to parent this child, how I was going to work, because I drive 18-wheelers. So I didn't know what that was going to look like for the career that I had established. So, things are tough. And before I finish the story, if you have a friend, cousin, aunt, uncle, let's say that they are single dads, but if you have a friend, cousin, aunt, sister, whoever, who is a first-time parent, and they say something like, being a single parent is hard, don't hit them with the being a single person is hard. Not saying that that's not the case, because everybody know what it's like to struggle as a single person, or what it's like to go through hard times as a single person, because before we became single moms, we were once individuals, like just single people. So we do know what that's like, and we're not taking away from that, but we mean how hard it is to struggle with somebody who depends on you. As a single person, you don't have anybody who depends on you. Is you. Everything's still following you. Everything is still hard, but it's harder when you have a kid who depends on you, who can't do nothing for themselves. You have to do it. But just imagine going through those things and being told by the doctors, like, your mom could either make it or she could either not make it. Basically, that's what it was. But they would try to put it in nice terms, of course. But, your mom could either make it or she could. So now I'm over here stressing, like, my mama may never be able to hold my child. My mama may never be able to hear her talk, to hear her laugh, to see her accomplishments. My mom may not be here for my baby to be able to learn who her grandmother is and love on her grandmother and know what it's like to have a grandma, for real, from my side. But luckily, I ain't even gonna say it wasn't luck, prayerfully. The Lord came through, He came through and He restored my mom. And like, when I say it was like, one day they told us that we had to make it to where, in order for her to go to extended care, like to get extended care, we would have to sign like a DNR, basically, like do not resuscitate. And we had to make that decision because that's the type of care that it was. You had to, sign that. Otherwise, she couldn't go. And so we literally had to make that decision as her kids and her husband, And so we made that decision. And then that same very day, Mama woke up, because we had to make that decision because she wasn't waking up after they stopped giving her the medicine to keep her in a coma and stuff like that. She was supposed to wake up by a certain time, but she didn't. So then we ended up having to do the DNR ordeal. But, God say differently. Mama woke up. Mama was talking. She actually came out better than what she was before, you know. But the road to her becoming back to herself, it was a rocky one because she had to go into a nursing home, you know. But now that we have that out the way, now it's back to me looking to work. And I'm trying to think, how am I going to be able to drive 18-wheelers with my baby? Because at this point, I didn't have nobody to keep her for me. I didn't have nobody who was going to watch her while I go out and drive over the road to make a living for us. So I'm battling with like what is it that I can do. Mind you, before then I was still with Swift at the time, and I stayed in Mississippi. Hold on. Okay, so yeah, I stayed in Mississippi. So before doing anything, I like to really see if I can stay with the company that I'm with, because I don't like to switch jobs and stuff like that, especially with what it is that I do. Swift was my first trucking company, and I was with them at the time for 5 years before I had my baby. So, I'm trying to figure out like how I'm gonna be able to stay with them. So I tried getting an internal position, like working as a DM, being in the office and stuff. And I was gonna get it, but I didn't have anyone who was willing to bring my baby to daycare and then I pick her up, or I drop her there and then they pick her up so that I can work my hours. So then that was ramped out. So I ended up having to quit Swift, even though I didn't want to. I ended up having to quit Swift. So fast forward to March. Sorry, take that out. Fast forward to May of 2023. I ended up coming across this company named Crete, and I was able to take my baby as long as I had another adult on the truck. Thank God for both of my brothers, because I alternated between them two within my year of being at Crete. So finally, I felt a sense of relief because now financially, like, I don't have to struggle no more, and I can do it while caring for my baby. Like, I can care for her and I can work all in one vicinity, which for me was a good feeling, because she eating, I'm eating, my brother eating, I'm not worried about things like my car getting repoed or not being able to afford certain things when it comes down to repairs on my car, not worrying about being able to afford things if my daughter gotta go to the doctor, because, well, I got it now, and stuff like that. And so in that time frame of me working in 2023, from in between May and December, it was good because I was working, but also it was a lot of challenges that I came across as like a single mom. I'm gonna say in about August, I really just separated from her dad. Anything like before that, I mean, it kind of anything before that was, I guess, us trying, but not for real. I'm gonna say things kind of was like already dead, if I'm being honest. But August, it started a whole nother something, y'all. It really felt like I couldn't catch a break, but it was good for me at the same time, only I didn't know it then. And so I battled a lot with, like, crying. I cried so much. Like, the first year of my baby's life, I cried. Okay, I cried. And it was more so because, like, dang, like, I'm really gonna have to do this by myself. Like, I'm really gonna have to raise my child by myself. And sometimes, like, I wanted a little break, to where I could take like a breather, recoup, and come back into mommy mode. But I never got that. Like, I never got that since she was born. It's always just been us, like this. It's always been us, because I never had nobody who would just keep her for me without hearing something about it, or without it being like, okay, when you come back, type of thing. Like, I just never had that. And so one of my things was just getting us a place, because at this point we're just living in my truck. That's it. We're just living in my truck. Whenever I came to Louisiana to visit, I would get a hotel room. I would drive down there, get a hotel room, see my family and stuff like that, and then I would head on back up to Lenoir City, Tennessee, which is where my trucking company was. I would park my car there, get in my truck, take off, go handle my business. But it was challenging, because I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna be able to do that. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that. So in order for me to be able to do that, like, I had to grind. Many, like, sleepless nights, many days I worried, many days I cried, many days I was just like, Lord, what did I get myself into? Because mind you, I prayed for my baby. I was told that I couldn't have a kid unless I take out my fibroids. At this point, my fibroids are still, well, they were still intact. You know what I'm saying? And it was something that I cried about, because I'm like, all I ever wanted to be was a mom. All I ever wanted to be was a mom. And a little in the mention about that, like, I beat myself up for that as well, because I had a friend that constantly told me, well, you prayed for it. This what you prayed for. You said, you said, I don't care if I gotta go to a sperm bank and have the baby myself and raise the baby myself. You said that. But this my thing. I did say that. But that was me saying it. And I'm not taking away from it. But that was me saying it, not really knowing what all came with it. Because again, you know what I'm saying? Again, at that time, I didn't know what all came with it. But would I take back what I said? No, I'm not about to take that back. And I'm not about to feel bad for manifesting a child that I desperately wanted. I'm not about to do that either. Yes, I'm doing it as a single mom. Yes, it's hard as the bleep, but I'm not taking that back. Why? Because that's a blessing that God had gave me. And he wouldn't put more on me than I can bear, and I know that. So I'm no longer beating myself up over that decision that I made, because that decision has took me through things. She's the one that holds me. She's the one that hugs me. She's the one giving me kisses and gets me through. You know what I'm saying? Like, my baby, like, the Lord knew I needed her, type of thing. But to jump back, yeah, I had to find us a place to stay, and I didn't know how I was gonna do it. I didn't know if I would get approved for it, because I never had a place for real by myself. And it's another thing, like, a lot of things I've never done by myself. I never had my own apartment. I never really just had to take care of everything by myself. It's like I was in relationships where I move in with them and I help them take care of their stuff. And so now it's on me to take care of everything that I need to take care of. And I'm just like, am I capable of doing these things? Can I do these things? I was a little scared, because I'm like, I want to give my baby the best. So it was just like, how am I going to achieve these things? Can I achieve these things? Because fear of the unknown, like, I didn't know. So I grind. And then in March, I started looking for apartments. And I had been looking, honestly, since 23. So in 24, I really started my search, for apartments, and I was able to find us an apartment. So I was able to get us a 2-bedroom, 1.5 bathroom. That I was qualified for. It was so nice, and it was so exciting. Of course, I was in Texas at the time. But yeah, like I was excited, because I didn't imagine that, I knew it was something that we needed because we needed our space. We needed to get up out of that truck. We needed to have somewhere. I needed somewhere for my baby to be able to run around, do her thing, do her big one. And so, yeah, we had the apartment. And of course, I had got that apartment on my Crete salary, which was dope because really and truly, like, I made money with Crete. So I didn't have to worry about paying my light bill, paying my rent, and still being able to take care of my car and stuff like that. And whatever it is that my baby needed, I didn't have to worry about that because money was good. But then, fast forward to like the end of July of 2024. Yeah, the end of July 2024. That was a whole nother one. It's like the end of July, beginning of August. Anyway, that was a whole nother song. Okay. And so basically, I ended up getting a phone call while I think I just picked the load up. And my DM like, hey Q, West Memphis call you? That's how we talk when we talk about different terminals. But I was just like, no, they never called me. They never called me. And he was like, well, call them. You need to call them. And so I was just like, okay, which was weird because I ain't never had a phone call like that. And I'm like, I didn't do anything, so why I gotta call these people? What I gotta call these people for? Type stuff. And so I called them, and one of the guys I always talk to, he answered the phone, and I was like, hey, my DM told me that I need to call you, because, and I was like, I don't know what the reason was, why do I have to call you guys? And so he was like, well, I didn't really want to tell you because, I know you have the baby and stuff, but we are changing our rider policy. Our rider policy now states that your rider has to be 12 years old or older in order to ride on the truck. Effective September 30th. It was, mind you, we are in the end of July, beginning of August. And so my heart just dropped, y'all. My heart just dropped. And so many worries, so many thoughts flooded my mind. Because here I am, just got an apartment in March. I literally just got an apartment. Now I have to find daycare. Now I have to find another job. Now I'm worrying about how stuff is going to get paid yet again, And, and he was just like, you're a good driver. You're a great driver. We hate to lose you. Is there anybody that could keep the baby and stuff? And I'm like, I just don't have nobody that's going to keep my child. Like, I don't have nobody. It falls on me. Like, I have to keep her. Of course, that's my baby. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying it in that way. Like, that's my child. I'm going to take care of mine. But as he talking to me, y'all, in the back of my mind, I'm like, what the fuck? What's going on? Hold on, y'all. But yeah, y'all, I had to put some on my lips. But I'm just like, what the freak? What's really going on? Like, not again. But Y'all gonna have to stay tuned for part 2, because I'm gonna upload part 1 because my phone is running out of space, y'all. And please comment below, like, what camera or DJI thing I could get instead of using my own personal phone, because I need that. I'm just starting out, y'all. Bear with me. But still, like, comment, and subscribe. Turn them notifications on for me, y'all, so y'all could get part 2 of this video. Alright? If you are a single mom, a mother, if you are a mother and you can relate with this struggle, I promise you, girl, we got this. We got this. But I want y'all to tune in for part 2. I'm going to drop part 1 on Tuesday morning. Okay, Tuesday. What is the date? I have to see the date, y'all. Because let me tell y'all, my days be running together, okay? Days be running together. I think it's the 10th. I think Tuesday is the 10th. So Tuesday the 10th at 6 o'clock. So I'm scheduled for like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning. So tune in, y'all. Tune in. Like, comment, and subscribe. And thank y'all for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you guys on the next video. Hopefully we can have a little bit up in here. Armani, maybe. I don't know. Y'all can see I'm moving around in the back. But hopefully so, y'all. But hey, like, comment, and subscribe. I know I said it so many times, but I want y'all to like, comment, and subscribe, because this is only the beginning. Alright? And to all mothers out there, like, we got this. We got this, okay? We got this. Much love and peace.